in the UK listening to this, they would be like, what are your main motivations? Money or title? And now it's team. I think it's really important to come in and bring energy, make the team feel pumped and make it a nice environment to work in. Oh, is it hybrid? Is it work from home? It's like the biggest thing, really. And it's a real deal breaker for a lot of our candidates.
Welcome to the Work on Wellness podcast. I'm joined by Mia and by Alexandra from Recruitment.
Hello.
The reason I want to speak to you guys today is basically recruitment's super interesting. What you guys hire for is, in sales and technology, and you're working in HR, so it's perfect guest to have on today. I find that sales, obviously, you've worked in real estate, right, Alex?
Yeah, so I started my Dubai career, at 19 years old in sales. So yeah, that was a long time ago.
Cool. So you've obviously experienced like the stress of working high pressure sales jobs. What was your experience before
I went straight to recruitment, so literally came out of uni, been doing this, but this is definitely a high pressured sales job too.
I walked in, the office is buzzing. I was like, okay, this looks fun. So you texted me really early this morning. What's your morning routine?
I try to go to the gym most days. So why I was up really early was I was making myself ready to get to the gym class because I needed that pump. But sometimes I just enjoy a lie-in. I obviously have to be up ready to support the team. We have a team meeting at 8:30 every morning. So that's without a doubt that
8:30
yeah,
in the office.
Yeah. Well, no, we actually do. Whoever's working from home will log in from online, but 8:30 is when SALT starts globally.
So you've got that flexibility to come from wherever you want.
Yes, but if you are in the office and you come in at 8:31, you buy coffees for your entire desk.
Oh, I like
Literally,
it.
the minute it gets past 8:30,
And we're all getting double shots on that day.
Very good. No, I'd probably be buying coffee most days.
Oh, no, I wouldn't put you down as the late type. You were very prompt this morning.
No, if I have a client meeting, I have to be there on time. It's
Yeah.
just important. I think it's very British, isn't it?
Yeah.
Turn up and be there. So yeah, in terms of like the whole flexibility work from home debate, what I really wanted to get into is the people that you're hiring for, especially younger generations, Gen Z, millennials. We're seeing a very different shift in the type of work that people are willing to commit to and do. How are you finding the generational gap? Gen Z, millennials versus the baby boomers, for example, in Dubai specifically?
100. I think, when we obviously go into this, we always ask, what are your main motivations? And it used to be money or title, and now it's, oh, is it hybrid? Is it work from home? It's like the biggest thing, really. And it's a real deal breaker for a lot of our candidates. And we've lost, unfortunately, people's roles or deals or whatever you say because of it. People really do want the flexibility. They value it so much more, and they feel almost like hard done by if they don't get it.
Yeah, I had a friend at home. He said to me that he quit his job because they wouldn't allow him to work from home like a few days a week, and the petrol was too expensive.
Well, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's so expensive over there at the moment, and the prices have gone up. He's got a fair point in my opinion. And whenever any of our clients say we want them in the office, I'm always a big advocate of, I think that you should offer a bit of flexibility around it, to be honest.
Are you seeing this more with like startup companies, large corporates? Like, who's sort of the go-to people on this?
I think you mentioned Tesla and Apple have asked for people to come back, but I think they're always going to have people want to work for them, so they don't need to worry so much. But the little startup 10-man, and they're competing against 100 other startups 10-man, and this guy can work from Thailand, work from London. I know where I'm going, right? And I think,
Where would that be?
Nowhere. Yeah. No, I'm not going anywhere, Rick. I'm staying here. No. But look, I want the flexibility. Our boss is amazing. We get hybrid working here 2 days a week. A lot of us go back to London for the summer. If there's anything that we need where we need to work remotely, he is super open to it. And I think, it's a results-driven environment, right? So at the end of the day, if you're not doing your job properly, you're not doing your job properly. But I don't think it really matters where you're sitting.
You said results driven. Do you feel like that's only in sales though? Because there's obviously a lot of roles, especially for HR, where they might not have those KPIs. So how is that? How are companies judging someone's workability? Are we now being monitored by technology, or?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have the platforms there, you know, I have a lot of friends who work within HR or marketing, for example, whatever role you're in, regardless of whether it's sales, you know, companies still want results and the employees still want to be performing most of the time. So, you know, this, you know, whether it's a target or you need to get a campaign out by a certain day or you need to have this employee onboarded, there's always a result that needs to be hit by the end of it.
Yeah.
So as long as you can do that. Yeah.
There's a thing that's going around on social media at the moment saying that middle management is disappearing because of this work from home debate. Are you seeing that in recruiting?
Well, no, I mean, I'd say I'm middle management at the moment, and hopefully I won't be disappearing anytime soon. But again, it's just having the accountability, you know. And if you think about when it was COVID in 2020, all we could do was when we were hiring and onboarding, when there was lockdowns and things like that, we had to onboard these people remotely. So it was a big learning curve for a lot of us, and we've all learnt new skills from it. So I think it's actually a great opportunity that we can do that. And I don't think middle management's disappearing. I haven't seen it. I'm still hiring mid-level roles, you know.
Yeah, I think if it has slightly, it's only because people have had to cost cut and downsize in this market, right? So the CEO is not going to fire himself, but he may fire his head of and keep kind of the executives on board, right, for cost saving. But for me, it's only just recently started really picking up, and we have just seen an influx of middle management roles, to be honest.
Okay, picking up.
Yeah. For us, this has been probably our busiest month, actually.
Interesting. I have another friend that said the same thing. He works in recruitment, but he does a lot of pharmaceutical stuff.
Okay.
Obviously, there was a boom in
I was gonna say,
COVID.
well, yeah, it's been-
Christ, he's not retired now.
Well, he's actually just moved to Thailand, so
Working remotely or retired?
he is working remotely.
Yeah.
It looks like on Instagram anyway. You mentioned that you've now moved into management level. I've had this discussion with a few different companies, with my company. In terms of like people's mental health, EQ, I find that women are much easier to talk to and open up to. I've currently got a female manager, so hope she's listening.
Yes, you.
Like how do you guys see that? Are you intentionally hiring women in those roles, or is it just because, you know, people have got to those positions in terms of their achievements, they've just done well, or is it something you're conscious of?
I don't know. Do you know what? I was thinking about it today when I was kind of reading through some notes, and actually, out of our top 5 or even top 6 in this office, 5 are women. And I think a lot of this job is a lot of EQ skills, right? Because it's, you know, talking to people, finding out the motivations, really kind of selling to them. It's not a hard sales, real estate, tech sales environment. You know, and I don't want to say it's because we're female, but maybe there is this kind of underlying skill set there that we have that maybe
Communication.
yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's the empathy piece. Maybe it's that we're not as black and white. I don't know. You know, I'm really generalizing. But obviously our leader here, or our boss, Rick, you know, he's definitely male. And he's brilliant, right? You know, I said to everybody, I would never leave Salt because of my boss. You know, somebody could offer me triple my salary, work remote full time, and I still wouldn't go.
Really?
But I think he does have
Gordon on camera.
yeah, promotion. But no, you know, and I think he's definitely got. So it just really depends on the person.
Yeah.
But it was just funny when you said that. I did kind of look at our leaderboard and think, oh, actually, you know, girls do quite well in this, and you know, the management level here is quite female led.
Yeah, I definitely felt that when we spoke a long time ago. We had an introduction for a mutual friend. It did feel like I already knew you for some reason.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah,
We had that first conversation. It's just like,
yeah.
hello, but you know, I say that I speak to everyone in the same way, regardless of level that they're at, you know, or
Oh,
who
it just
they are.
not 'cause I was nice.
Yeah, but no, it's just being a human, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, everyone is a human, and I can't really be fake, to be honest. So yeah, but I like that you said that. Thank you.
Did you feel that there was a great resignation? It was all over the news. People were quitting jobs. People were prepared to move on. Did you feel that happened in 2022? Is it going to happen in 2023?
I think it didn't probably happen here so much because you've got to have a visa to be here. So you're always a bit like, it's not in London, or you can quit your job, you can kind of dust around for a few months, see what happens. You know, here, if you don't have a visa, you're eventually out, right?
Yeah.
So I think here we weren't as affected. But it definitely did happen. And I think we were reading this morning, like the main reason that people are out is that people just didn't feel fulfilled, you know, in what they were doing.
and that was why they kind of decided to move on to different things, or even things outside of jobs, right, and just move on to more passions, let's say.
Did you feel the same thing?
Yeah, in sales, there was tons of opportunities. Like when I spoke to candidates in the UK, again, following what Mia said, not so much here, but you know, if you look at kind of candidates' movements in general in the UK over the last couple of years, there's some really short stints in sales roles, which, you know, a lot of employers would look at and be like, why did they only stay there for 6 months? And a lot of the time it was because they got offered more money, more commission. The
Work
job
from home, no
market
pay.
was, yeah, it was flying, you know, across tech startups and SaaS companies. So it was a tough market to recruit in, but great for candidates because anyone who was looking for a job, there was one there.
I think I was one of the statistics.
Go on, tell us.
Well, I was working from home for 18 months and I was asking to go into the office and the company didn't want to do it. And
Really?
fair enough, like it worked for the company. They had everyone's, you know, health at mind.
Yeah.
Just personally, it didn't work. So I took a big break. I went traveling across Latin America, spent 5 months away.
Wow.
It was very hard to come back and work again. It took a couple of months to get back into routine.
Yeah.
We're trying to get back into a morning routine now. So doing like walks in the morning and just trying to get outside now that the weather's like getting better.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask you though, what's your sort of morning routine? How are you coping?
Oh, well, I'm spinning obsessed. So every morning
Okay.
I go spinning. Yeah.
Crank?
No, I'm not crank because I also can't drive and I'm scared of taxis. So I go to platform because I can walk
Oh,
there.
okay.
But yeah, every morning there, 6:30.
I've got a
Come
friend that
back.
works there.
Really?
Mel.
Oh.
She does the yoga, not the
Oh
spin.
no, I can't do yoga. I'm too impatient for yoga. Sorry, I shouldn't say that on a wellness thing, but not for me. I prefer the more, yeah. But yeah, every morning spinning, come back, and then yeah, same into the office 8:30. You know, big kind of kick off with the team and start the day.
You said an interesting thing a minute ago before we were walking in about using TrueDoc
Yeah,
online health service, which is obviously something my company offers. Obviously, using online platforms is something that's very new.
yeah.
I was really intrigued that you wanted to use that as like your first port of call. Can you tell me something about why you want to use that service? Why you wouldn't go and see someone?
I think it's just the ease and convenience, right? You know, it literally has taken me 6 minutes that I've sent her a picture of this silly thing on my nose. And hopefully, you know, within half an hour I have a prescription and that just means on my lunch break I can go and get it, as opposed to maybe saying to my boss, oh, can I take an hour out? Can I go to the doctor? Can I do this? And don't get me wrong, for more serious things I wouldn't, but I think I'm hoping it's not serious, but yeah.
Do you feel like it's been pushed enough in other companies?
I don't know, because we obviously just have our own, you know, we've always been with the same insurance, stuff like that. So I'm not really too sure.
Yeah, it's all kind of in black and white on the app. You know, it tells you it's very straightforward. Call a doctor, great, and then they even send you the prescription. We're so
know.
lucky here. If
Very
anyone's in
good.
the UK listening to this, they would be like,
What?
yeah,
It
like
could be dangerous if you as well.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's just such a, they make everything so easy for you, don't they? Petrol,
So
instant
there's
stop.
the reason I ask is other services as well, like mental health, especially where people can call in, speak to a doctor. Kids, you know, if they're getting bullied at school, they can be handed the phone. They can speak to a psychiatrist. I think those services are amazing.
Yeah.
Not many companies are using them very actively, so I thought it was lovely that you'd brought that up.
No.
So,
What a convenience.
Yeah.
yeah. So moving on to in terms of the roles that you're hiring for, please just give me a quick 2-minute overview of the roles that you're going for and the roles that you're hiring for.
You want to go first?
Go on then. So I recruit everything what I call non-tech, so the business support functions. So that's covering everything HR, talent acquisition, finance, operations, and across all levels, right? But mainly management upwards. I'd say, you know, we say we do Middle East, but the majority of our work comes from UAE and Saudi being a really kind of prominent market for us at the moment, which is good. But I love sort of the kind of broad range of roles because, you know, I get to speak to really different people every day. You know, finance people are so different to HR, like so different. But yeah, it's really great and I have loved it. I started this market for Salt here and it's now been rolled out globally. So yeah, it's just been super fruitful, I think, and a great addition that we kind of are in there with HR, you
Yeah.
know, from kind of a client point of view as well.
Yeah, your company looks like it's growing massively. What was it, about 700 people on LinkedIn? Or
You know what? I don't know, but we just keep like expanding offices all the time. It's like new office. So yeah, but everyone keeps in touch. We have a lot of global calls in terms of like training, or whether it's talking about mental health, or um, anything that can help each other really. There's a lot of communication between each office. I think that's really nice. So you always know someone by name and hopefully by face, because we're all just sharing content around each other and stuff.
you get to travel a lot?
Yeah, you work from the London office a lot.
Yeah, I mean, for
Beef a
business.
lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I tend to do. I aim to go on one holiday a month, and then like check in, depending if it's in Ibiza. Obviously, the laptop did not go on, but yeah, like if we get to work from the UK, Mia gets to work from Spain quite a lot. Her boyfriend lives there, which is quite nice. And then
Oh, nice.
we have the team going to Kuwait, Saudi to meet clients. So there's a lot of GCC travel as well.
Mhm. I want to touch on one of the stories that you posted up a little while ago about a company that took all their staff to Ibiza.
Oh yeah, how unreal is that?
And forgot 2 of them.
Yeah, I was like, sign me up. How cool is that? Took the whole company. It's an ad tech company that were founded by 2 ex-Googlers, and they took the whole company to Ibiza. They have offices in like South America, Europe, here. Just took everyone there. So if Salt are listening, that would be great.
I thought you were talking about something in London on their trip. It was like we didn't get excited.
Clients,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's amazing.
So I was like, brilliant.
No, but Salt in London took them all to Ibiza, didn't they?
Yeah, that was just the sales team though.
Yeah.
This is the whole company. Whole company.
Are
Yeah.
you seeing that a lot? Is that a new trend?
It's definitely not new, especially in recruitment. You know, we're so lucky. Like we went to Zanzibar this June, which was so nice. We've been to Beirut. Salt London went to Ibiza. In performance-driven roles, you know, target-driven, high pressure, there's always a lot of incentives, typically, especially in recruitment. And even some of the other companies out here, I know they're doing trips too. So, in terms of other companies, not too sure. Maybe tech startups and things like that, but not as
Yeah.
much as recruitment, I'd say.
Well, do you know, I was actually having a really interesting conversation with HR from one of the big 4, and she said, you know, it's quite old school, but in Dubai you have schooling as like one of your add-ons. And she said, what we're looking at now is, you know, if people don't want kids, can't have kids, you know, are they being penalised because their counterparts are getting 20 to 60,000 dirhams a year more than them just for the fact they have children?
Oh, that's very
No, it
interesting.
was. And she said, you know, we've done a big study on it. And actually, do we need to be getting them wellness membership somewhere else? Do we need to give them additional holiday? What are we doing that means that they don't feel hard done by and we're not being biased? Because, you know, in my eyes, that person's getting 5K a month more than I am just
Yeah.
because I haven't had a baby yet. Or
Yeah.
I don't want to have a baby. And I found that super interesting because from quite a big corporate, especially in the Middle East, for them to be thinking like that, it really shows how times are kind of changing. I think mindset's changing a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I spoke to someone a while ago that you know, there's a big divide in terms of nationalities earning different salaries here, and it's still
Yeah.
quite unfair. I won't mention the company name, but they were offering like flat rates on all roles, which I thought was amazing. That's just such a super interesting topic in terms of schooling and
Yeah.
stuff. I know, especially like teachers, for example, they get given more money if they're married for the house. So I know some people that, you know, 2 teachers are basically getting a second apartment, living together and rent one out, which I think
Yeah.
is sly, but
Love the
hustle.
commercial.
I-
Yeah. It's Alex about sales roles.
so are you finding that with all the new visas coming in here, everyone is staying longer? We're seeing house prices going through the roof.
Yeah.
Everyone looks like they're buying and trying to stay here. Obviously, mentioning schools, everyone's having kids. Originally, when I got here 6-7 years ago, everyone was like leaving Dubai because they're just about to have kids.
Really?
Yeah, and now they're like, okay, well, maybe we will go to schools here. I think Dubai just got rated. 10 of the schools are in the top 100 in the world. So obviously people are staying. How do you think that's going to affect the job market in terms of
Great.
progression up the ladder? People are obviously not moving. Is that something that we should be concerned about as people that are stepping into roles that you're now in?
I don't think the golden visa. I think if anything, it's a great. Don't know what's the word for it. Any company doesn't have to then sponsor that person on the visa. They're here for the long run. It's a great opportunity to have.
Yeah,
That's
people
one.
committed to the market as well.
Yeah.
It's to our kind of ecosystem here. And I think when you look at like the top businesses in the world, the experienced leaders who are 60, 70 years old are still super involved. You know, you have like Warren Buffett doing his big speeches, and actually, are we missing that kind of really high level experience? You know, is the highest CEO here like 45 and that's kind of it? And I think people will be happier knowing that they have a longer career here. You know, I think that's a big thing. And that they can have their parents here and stuff like that, I think is also another big thing.
Good, yeah.
My mum actually got a role in Bahrain a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
No, they went there. Got the job. She's a teacher.
Yeah.
They went there. They were expecting Dubai, and it wasn't the same. So
Yeah.
she was only there a week and just decided it weren't for her. And they left. They're now in Australia, but
Oh, okay.
wow.
but I think here is obviously a space where people are coming in. They're staying for longer. So
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum's a teacher here. She's been in the same job since we all moved together. So yeah, 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Same school.
And I think it's also reflective of what's going on outside in other countries. Like for me, I wouldn't want to go back to the UK. Whereas maybe 6 or 7 years ago, the UK looked like a very different place.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, not going into it with Brexit and stuff like that, people just aren't as drawn maybe to going back. It's not as easy either.
Okay. So before we wrap up, I just want to ask you one final thing. What do you think companies can do? What's your tips to retain staff, make sure that they're, you know, happy emotionally, mentally, obviously financially? What are you recommending to companies now?
I'd just say, just listen, talk and listen. I think Rick, our boss anyway, you know, he will at one stage or another take everybody for a breakfast within the quarter, you know, really sit you down. Spoke to me yesterday, you know, I'm having to work remote between here and Spain, you know, how you getting on, how you feeling, what's it like in Spain, you know, really, what can I do for you, how can the business help you? And, you know, it's just, that is so invaluable, right? Instead of him saying, oh, you know, I know you're going to Spain, here's 2K for your flights or something, like, doesn't matter, it's about how I'm feeling, right? And we kind of sorted out some issues and everything like that, and it never would have been done if he hadn't have done that. So I think people just really need to take the time to talk and listen.
Okay.
I think, yeah, for me, in terms of sales, from what I recruit, and I think it's so important that companies are paying on time, paying the commission that they've promised, and following up with their promises and delivering, along with all of the, you know, emotional side and being there for the team. I think it's really important to come in and bring energy, you know, make the team feel pumped, and just make it a nice environment to work in. As you said, you know, you walked in here and we had like music on and everyone's buzzing. You can hear them all chatting. That's why I've been here for 7 years, because of Rick. You know, our CEO, Elliot Dell, when he first interviewed me, I was a 22-year-old girl, didn't really have much life or work experience, and they've given me such a platform to grow and learn, and I'm really appreciative of that. So highly recommend any companies to do the same.
Get them pay rises in, Rick. Okay, so how do people contact you? What's the best way to reach out if it's a company hiring or staff that are looking for jobs?
My email will be here. Yeah, we're really active on LinkedIn, although it's really difficult to get back to everyone on there. So what we can do is we can maybe put our emails along the video or on the audio to this. Mine's Hartley@welovesalt.com.
And so welovesalt.com.
But yeah, email is probably the best way, and then we can take it from there. And you know how it is. Pop me a message, have a quick chat, and we'll go from there.
Well, one last thing. I see a lot of posts on LinkedIn, especially where people are like interested. Can we just
Super helpful.
It's a real fave, that, isn't it? Yeah.
What is that about?
No idea. The best one, my friend in recruitment, he had please hunt my head. So that was probably the best one. But obviously that's not gonna get attention. So
No.
Hunt my head. I love that.
I think emails, yeah, definitely the best. Pop us a call. You know, obviously, as we speak to all of our candidates, whether it be call, Skype, face to face, whatever it is. And like you say, like you spoke to Alex once and you felt like you knew her forever. And I think we get that a lot, right? You know, a lot of clients have become friends, candidates have become friends.
Oh, yeah. I was out with a client in London the other day. I was like, do you want to meet up? We had a party. He came on my hen do.
oh, nice.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Well, thank you very much for letting me come in here today. If we come back in another few months, we'll see how things are moving in that regard. So
We'll be in Thailand.
Thanks, podcast Paul. That's your name now.